Hey everybody, I'm back with a card share. I was supposed to be cleaning my craft room, and you know that saying where you go in to clean and you get all into the cool stuff that you have? Well, that's what happened. Because I was thinking about some projects I wanted to make before it got too late, because I wanted to do something for Easter. And I know for me it takes time. I don't know if you guys are like this, but it takes me forever to make a card. And it's probably because I put a lot of stuff in it most of the time. So first I'm going to share what I use, because there's a lot of stuff, and then I'll show you the cards. For the inks, I use this Ink on 3 black detail ink for the sentiments. This is also Copic friendly. That's the other reason why I used it. I use the soft stone from Paper Tray Ink for a background stamp. These two colors from Lawn Fawn, Moonstone and Cilantro, and you're going to see that on my cards, of course. I did do a lot of ink blending, so I did use these two brushes here. You can see which colors I used for those. Copics, I actually did some Copic coloring. These are the colors. If you want to pause, you can take a look at those, and that's because they are Easter colors. You're going to see my card. I used some masking paper. I actually have this in a roll, and it's from Judikins. I believe I purchased it at hallmarkscrapbook.com, but this is you know, the paper. It's actually double the width of this in a roll, so you can make it as long as you need. And I cut it in half and used the straight edge side to do some masking. Okay, for the cards, I did try my new size card shapes, or I don't know what you call them. This is a trifold card base from Tailored Expressions, and this is their size of their what they call the mini slimline. Okay, and the reason I say their size, because I just bought another die set that does what My Creative Time calls their mini slim size, and it has a card base with all the layers. It is not the same size. If you were to just fold this card in half, it is not the same size. You can see it fits inside of their base. So just a word of caution, unless somebody says my card is A2, which is like an official size of, of a dimension, just know that you may be buying something that isn't the same size as something else. Like I said, Tailored Expressions has what they call mini slimline. My Creative Time has what they call mini slimline. They are not the same size. And that is also the case with the Slimline card series. So if you're buying dies from different manufacturers, they don't always come out to be the same dimensions. Okay? That's my point, right? And so the envelope size is different too. Oh my gosh. So that's one thing I was noting too, because I bought the envelope for that My Creative Time card base. This is the envelope that you can create. This envelope will not fit my Tailored Expressions card, of course, because like I said, that one is bigger. So word of caution, just keep that in mind. Make sure you note the dimensions if you're going to buy something that you think coordinates. It may not. These are the Tailored Expressions mini slimline dies that are layering, that also go with their card bases. So I did use the largest one here. I also use their window templates. There's a set of you could see it here, stencil kind of, or you can use it to line up your windows, your window dies. And I use the smaller die in this square set. I think they have a circle one. I'm not sure. All right, what else did I use? It all started with this whole obsession. Well, Easter's coming, so I was thinking chickens instead of bunnies. I used my Tailored Expression stash. This is, of course, the name is hidden. Mini Strips Easter. And I have like a lot of their mini strip sentiments, stamps and dies. So these are the actual dies that cut out in one pass all of the sentiments that you would stamp for a mini strip. So if you have the dies, you only need one set, and they all coordinate with their different sets, because I do have like a Christmas one, a Valentine's one, etc. So I use the Easter ones because I actually picked up these stamps some time ago. This is the Sarcastic Chick stamp set. And I used the chicken and the face from the chicken. There is a die for it. It comes with the set. And then I also use this Big Grumpy Easter. Now this goes with the Big Grumpy. This is not a Big Grumpy, but this goes with the Big Grumpy dog and cat. I used this particular sentiment. So this is also like an Easter. And then here we go. This is the background stamp I used from Impression Obsession. It's chicken feet. You know, gotta have chicken feet. These are the sentiments that I used. These are from Paper Tray. I have lots of their small sentiment sets. And I just wanted to vary them in the card. So this one is Just Because. Inside Greetings Just Because. And if you want to read them, you can stop, pause the video. This one is an older one. Up, Up, and Away Sentiments. So there's that one. And then I use this one. Ooh, my stamp got, oh, it got removed from the stamp set when I put it back. Sorry, I have to fix that. So this one is Keep It Simple Just For You. So that's what this one is. So I use those for my sentiments. And the reason there's a lot is because, you know, I never made a trifold card before. But boy, it's like 2 cards in one. Okay. I use this stencil from Tim Holtz. It is the THS097. I don't know if it has a name, but you can tell it's plaid. They have the smaller ones too, but I had to use this size because I use this on my envelope. I use this MFT Micro Cloud Edges ST145. It's actually imprinted here if you guys are wondering what I'm reading. And then I use this. I use these sets here for the dies because they have egg dies in them. So this is a Stampin' Up! Basket Bunch set. It's an old one. It's probably retired now. I use the eggs out of this one. The Simply Spring Borders from Paper Tray Ink. I use the eggs out of that one. And then this, what is this? Memory Box? I think this is Memory Box, right? Yeah, Memory Box from 2015. This one has a number of egg dies as well. I use the smaller egg, no, the medium-sized eggs in this particular set. I wanted to cut a bunch of eggs at one time, so you can see what happened. Just find your egg dies, right? And then this is an old set, and I don't have the label. I do have the label for it. One second. This is from Quick Cuts Lifestyle Crafts before they all consolidated and then went out of business. So it's a strip of eggs and bunnies. Chicks and bunnies. And it's called Easter Punches. And then I use the grass die, grass edges. So there's 2 sizes of grass in here. So actually I used the grass and then one of the chick die, the single one that's listed here. But I didn't put it on my card yet because I think I'm kind of questioning where I should put it. And then the last thing I used is the Lawn Fawn Speckles 6x6, Spiffy Speckles 6x6 Petite Paper Pack, and Perfectly Plaid Spring. So if you guys are wondering, this is one of those 6x6 boxes that I purchased from Paper Tray Ink. And like I told you before, I like to store my paper pads in here with the scraps. And there happens to be 2 because the Lawn Fawn ones are thick and you can fit up to 2 pads in here. And there are scraps down in here so they don't get all munged up. Yeah, that's a technical term, right? Okay, so my cards. They're all kind of similar to one another because boy, was that a lot of work. So Copic coloring, that's what I did. I wasn't planning on doing that. I was planning on cleaning my desk last night. That's not what happened. So I'll just see if I can hold these down for you. So you can see here each of the cards, and I'll bring it closer. Each of the cards has a different sentiment on the front because it's from that Tailored Expressions Simple Sentiments strip set. And you can see I die cut a window out of the front of the card, of the trifold base, and then backed it up with some of the pattern paper after I'd put the chick in between. I was not going to do that. I was actually going to just, do something else. But I thought this would turn out much better, and I think it's cute. I haven't colored in a while, so of course things are not perfect. But I think they still turned out cute. And then it takes some planning because the trifold, you got to put all the things in place or know what you're going to do as you're going along, because you don't want to try and stamp when you've got something dimensional already on the front. So I kind of did these I didn't do the whole front and then go on to the inside. I actually worked on different pieces at a time. So let me show you this one here. You can see closer. The background stamp from Impression Obsession isn't as tall as the actual card itself. So there's like, it's meant to look random. So I just basically stuck the rubber stamp to my glass mat with the rubber side up, and then put my card base down on front. And I did mask it off using that paper. So there's that. So that is the front of this card, and you can see it says Happy Easter, and I just cut another sentiment strips and kind of paired them together to match that background, and use a vintage button. This is actually a mother of pearl button, and some twine. So this twine is from May Arts, if you're wondering. So here's the next card here, and I'll show you the insides as we go along. I just want to show all the fronts. You are exceptional. So again, stamp the background. This sentiment's a lot longer. And then this one says, with love at Easter. Right? So the inside of the card, I did back up the front. So there's, because underneath here is like that square, and then the chick. You can kind of see the bottom of the chick. But here's the inside of the trifold. So when you open it up, there's this part right here. So all of them have the inking at the top with the clouds stencil that I showed you from MFT, and that ink color. And then there's a sentiment from Tailored Expressions from one of those sets. And then there's the dies for the Easter grass. I did ink up the front layer just to give it some dimension. And then I hid some eggs in here. And so they all look the same on the inside. They're just, the egg placement is different because the grass strip, I only had to cut it one time, and this is cut from Lawn Fawn cilantro paper that matches the ink color and this color right here, because that's the same color. So I only had to cut one strip of each of the pieces of grass, and I have the coordinating color of cardstock from Lawn Fawn, and then I just cut it because it was long enough to work for all three cards. So there's two different strips here that were cut into 3 pieces, and I still even had extra. And then all those little eggs I cut from the speckled paper pad are hidden inside the, inside the grass. So there's the last one. And then on the inside, I just stamped a sentiment. I did not want to cover this because what I want to do is actually write my message over here. And in one of these, I'm going to be tucking something in. So that's the paper tray ink sentiments on the inside that are stamped. So you can see. And that one's just for you. Now, with the envelopes, these envelopes are from the Greetery, but you can buy number 6 size envelopes. I just happen to have these already on hand. And so they're actually just a plain white color. They're not a bright white either. They're kind of a ivory, I would say. but the flap is white normally. So I used the stencil from Tim Holtz and the cilantro ink from Lawn Fawn. And I used a blending brush to, mask this part off. That's why this masking paper is green right now. I masked this side, tape my stencil down to this side here, and then also underneath it, so it would hold it in place. And then I kind of figured out where I wanted the stencil. You can tell that each one is different because I used a different placement of the stencil for each of the envelopes, because I wanted to kind of experiment and see what I liked best. They're all random, but you know, it adds something to the card when you have a card that's like this, you know, that kind of matches what you've got going on. So those are my cards. I hope you like them, and thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye. Hey guys, so I'm back. I bet you didn't think I'd be back so soon. I actually want to make a correction to something I said in the earlier video and show you as well something that I decided to do. So I went to reach for the envelopes again that I was using for the cards, and realized that I had actually written that these are from Tailored Expressions. They're not from the Greetery. They are a number 6 size envelope. And I must have bought them at the same time I bought the card bases from Tailored Expressions, so I just wanted to correct that in case you guys go look for it. But you can find number 6 envelopes anywhere. I would think even at an office supply store, because it's a standard size. Like I said, number 6, it's a standard size. So you can mail this without the extra postage, unless it's, you know, like a super thick card or heavy or something like that. Like if you have too much dimension. And actually that's one of the things I'm going to talk about. My cards are going inside of packages, so that's not a problem for me. But I'm going to be mailing out something that I just wanted to mail flat in a regular envelope. So when I was reaching for this, I actually got caught up doing something else. I'm supposed to be cleaning my desk. That's not what's happening. I decided to put the chick right here because it was kind of plain when you open the card. So the little chicks are residing on the inside of the flap. So that's where I put them. And those cards are going to go out with some happy mail that I'm putting together. So I'll put those aside. So like I said, I was reaching for this envelope because I had these, and I'd already cut that base for the other, what they're calling for my creative time. She calls them cute cards. So this size is kind of similar to the mini slimline series that Tailored Expression has. But as I said, she has an envelope die because I have it, but I don't know if it's a standard size that you can ship without extra postage. So I went ahead and reached for this because I cut this base and showed it to you earlier in the video. So because I'm sending some happy mail out, I went ahead and finished the card, and I want to show you what I did. It's a card that is going to have the bunny in it that I showed you previously. It's inside the card that I'm going to show you, but this is a die from Sizzix from Samantha Barnett. Here is the Sizzix number if you're looking for it. I think I bought this on Amazon with something else. And it makes a bunny and a bear. So there you have it. That's the die. I used this particular paper to make the bunny, and somebody had commented that she wanted it. And on a whim, I'm one of those crafters that, you know, I like to surprise people. So I told her to email me so that I could send it out to her. It costs me nothing to do that, really, except my time and, you know, a postage stamp. So I went ahead and finished it off nicely. I also created a card to go with the little bunny. So of course I had lots of scraps, as well as that card base already cut out. So I went ahead and finished the card. I'm supposed to be cleaning my desk. And I used the Tilda paper that I used to create the bunny. This is Tilda from Sweden. It is not the Magnolia Tilda. This paper is now retired, so it's harder to find. And I also broke out the die cuts. So I stored them in this box. This is again, this is my 6x6 plastic storage solution for my pads when I have scraps. I know you can do it a lot of different ways. I decided, since I was taking one of the boxes to open up of the die cuts, I'd put it together so in the future if I use it again I can pull from that open box. I also used this set from Paper Tray. It's the bunny basket. I used this button die set. You can still see that I had some scrap paper again, so I cut a button because this button was actually on the card. I took it off because it is going to cause the mailed card to be too thick. It's a really thick button. It was actually already glued to the card and it wasn't dry yet, so I removed it before it got too hard and it would rip the paper. So I used this button die, and as I said, it's a Paper Tray ink button die. I just happen to have it sitting on my table. This stamp set, and then this die, which is from Impression Obsession. This is a die designed by Anna White. Hi Anna, if you're watching. This is perfect for the style of the Tilda paper, by the way. This, and of course most of her dies, because the way that or the style of the design, I'll say, fits very good with the style of the paper. I don't, that's just coincidence, I guess, but it's beautiful. So anyway, I've got a couple of her sentiment dies here together that Anna designed, and you can see the packaging there. But I wanted to show you that because I cut some banners for that. And here is the finished card. So this is using this particular card base. See? And this pink cardstock is actually something I had out earlier. It's actually from Stampin' Up. It was a 12 by 12 sheet of paper that I was going to use to make some Valentines and never did use it. So it was still sitting out because I didn't put away my toys. There's the die cut from the Tilda paper pack. Not the paper pack, but the die cut collection. This box right here. There's different sizes of the bug in there. They call it the Tilda bug, and there is a sewing pattern for this, by the way. So if you guys are wondering, she has a lot of fabric. That's what she's into, so that's why she discontinued her paper lines. But there's different kinds. There's different sizes of bugs in this scrapbook, not scrapbook, but this die cut pack. This is the smallest one, I believe. And I just popped it up on some foam squares. There's the sentiment banner, and then there's the button. So you can see now, instead of the plastic button that I had, I now have a paper button that is popped up on foam, so it's less dimensional than the regular button. And I think this will make it also less heavy to go in the mail. There's the stamp sentiment, and I actually layered two banners together, cutting them out from some scraps that I had from the paper. So that's the outside of the card, and then here's the inside. Here's the bunny that I created earlier, and that's from that Sizzix die. Now, I did create the pocket for this. I measured the card, and I had a scrap of this paper, and then ran a decorative edge die and scored it at certain points using my scored board, like a 1/4 inch from the edge of the paper on each side, 3 sides here, and then folded them in, did a little creative cutting there to create the pocket. And this bunny actually has its back now, so it's nice on the back. You don't see any of the arms on the back, and she tucks right in there. And the basket isn't glued down to the legs, it's just held together with a glue dot under the arms. So that's the reason why the basket can slide over that, and she fits in that pocket. So, and then this is an Mft stamp, which I didn't show you. It was a freebie from Mft with one of their previous releases. I think the Valentine's February release, maybe. I don't know. So I sent that, I stamped that there. This is another panel from this die here. And that finishes the card off. So again, this fits right in. It's not exactly the same size, but this is a standard envelope that you can send through the mail without additional postage if your card isn't too thick. Now, I know this is thick, so I'm going to put additional postage on here, probably 2 stamps. But it should be fine now. And the button, which is right here, I can feel it, it was really thick. So that was going to cause some problems probably when they ran it through the machine. It would probably rip that envelope right there. So now I can just send it after I've, stamped and addressed it. But that is my card. I wanted to come back and share that with you, and also that those envelopes were from Taylor's Expressions, not the Greetery. I know I ordered some from her, but now I don't know where they are. So I'll have to go find them. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.